Hi, I'm Connie Shreve here at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal Museum and Nature Center. Today I'm going to give you a tour of the trail on the way down to the Ogeechee River and show you two of our locks here at Lock 5 and Lock 6. So this pavilion here was built by the Youth Challenge program for the canal, and we use this pavilion to do all of our educational programs. It's our outdoor classroom. And we also rent it for members and any groups that want to use it for parties and events. $50 for members and $100 for non-members. So our grapevine, this is our grapevine here, our little vineyard. And it looks like this year, for the first time since I've been here, we're gonna have grapes. These are muscadine. They're our local native grape. These are our farm tools. We have a cane grinder, and this is a syrup pot here. And then we have an old corn grist mill that was donated from Lake Lorraine in Bryan County. And hopefully one day we can get this thing going. We've been told that it was capable of working. Hopefully we can make that work so we can make our own cornmeal. This is our butterfly habitat, and we keep native plants growing back here. It was a little overrun after the hurricane. It was a mess, so we've just now started replanting. And we received a grant in the past that gave us these butterfly habitat markers and plant markers. So we're at the fork here where you can go Jinks Road, which is about a half a mile down to the Ogeechee River, or you can go the towpath. If you do the whole loop, it's 1 mile and 7/10. Today we're just gonna go do the towpath and walk down the historic barge canal trail. At the beginning of the towpath here, we have a replica of a lock, and this replica was built by Mr. Lester Shearhouse of Shearhouse Lumber in Pooler, Georgia. And he invested time and money into this lock so that we would have a good educational tool to teach people about what a lock really looked like, the operation of a lock. And this is just what a lock looked like in the day. And the sluice valve here on the bottom is where the water was let in and out. We built this bridge here for an overlook over the canal beside our historic marker. This bridge was put here just so we could bring people up on top of the canal and let them see. And this just gives a good view of Lock 5 here at the canal itself. You're looking at where the end caps here on this Lock 5 is where the lock door, where the locks were in place. The towpath takes you by our canoe and kayak rack. And anytime you want to go canoeing with the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal, you can just call here and we'll hook you up on a canoe trip. This is our kiosk down by our canoe and kayak rack at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal Museum and Nature Center. And all we have here is a list of all the fishes that you could find in the Ogeechee River, a map that shows how our canal trail goes all the way to River Street in Savannah, Georgia, and a print of our canal. At Savannah-Ogeechee Canal Museum and Nature Center, you can go paddling in a canoe or a kayak. If you're a member here, you can paddle in and out of our canal at any time. That's specifically for members. If you're not a member, you need to call the canal and talk to us, because I'm sure we can convince you to become one. Our membership here at the canal is only $40 a year for your whole family. We have different levels of membership. An individual or a teacher could be a member for $20 or $30. That's for a year. You get our newsletter every month. You can come out here to the canal anytime you want. We're dog friendly. You can fish whenever you like. You can tent camp if you get with us and let us know what's going on. And you can always paddle in and out of the canal. And then this is our dock. The Ogeechee Riverkeeper actually gave us the money to build this dock. And anytime I walk down here, I see pottery in the canal. So there's pottery right there now. See that white piece of pottery? So this is the dock that we use when we paddle in and out of the canal. We canoe and kayak right up to the dock and jump out of our boats or jump back in our boats and paddle out of the canal. We have floating docks here at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal because we're affected by the tide. So the tide flows in the canal and back out twice a day. So once or twice they've dredged this canal in the past. It's been a while since it was dredged. We are going to get this canal dredged very soon. We're going to have someone come in here and dredge it. We want to give barge canal rides. We're actually looking for barges. So we've been looking for a barge, yeah. So we want to give people, actually weeks ago someone showed up for a barge ride. And I said, no, we don't have one yet, but we're going to. Back in the 60s, they gave barge rides on this canal, and we want to be doing that today. So we're actively looking for a barge so we can give rides on our canal. So these barges are not pulled by a mule like they were in the past. These are motor-driven barges that we're looking for now to give people a ride. As you walk through the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal Museum and Nature Center, you will find these plant markers. And they are very important because they tell the common name, which is what most people are familiar with, and then it has the Latin italic name, and then it gives a description of the plant. So it's very important, and it tells mostly about all of our natives. And it's very important for people to know what our native plants are and not our invasives. We have a lot of invasives that came from other countries. As you walk on our trails here at Savannah-Ogeechee Canal, you will come across these wonderful boardwalks and bridges. Almost all of these boardwalks and bridges were built by Eagle Scouts and Boy Scouts, a few other organizations that came out to help, but mostly Eagle Scouts and Boy Scouts did these projects for us. This part of the canal, the park itself, is swampland. That's why back in the day when they tried to dig the canal, they were all getting malaria, and there were a lot of mosquito-borne illnesses. And you can only imagine how hard it was for them to dig a 16.5-mile trail through the swamp. So we have many ecosystems here on the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal because we have swampland, we have highland, we have sandhill. You know, it's very different areas, ecosystems on this property. It's 185 acres, donated by John Durst. He wanted us to allow campers to be able to utilize it. So we have a lot of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts that come here and use our property. This trail here, in fact, with all of the rock, was done by Boy Scouts 2 years ago. They actually, if you see, there's rock over here and rock over here, but at the low spot there is no rock. That's because the river flooded when they were trying to put the rock out. We're fixing to get back on this project so we can cover our routes and make it safer for people to walk. Here at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal, we have birders come, and those are bird watchers, but they just are called birders here. And they are real meticulous about the birds they see and the documentation. So they come back and let us know what they saw and what they didn't see, and they record it. So we have documentation of the birds here found on the property. It's a really amazing thing. And actually, we have a bird room in our museum with prints donated by Ray Harm. that are in our museum now, and we'd love for you to come see them. So here at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal, it's April, and the weather is beautiful. The trails are great. If you come and want to go walking and don't have everything you need, we have a gift shop. We have bug spray and drinks and snacks, binoculars for the birders. Anything you may need, we have in our swamp store. So just come on down. And we have a checklist for the birders. So you can write what birds you saw while you were here. And actually, we have a little checklist up at the desk that you can get to look for specific birds that are on our trail. So also up at our desk at the back door at Savannah-Ogeechee Canal, you can grab our amphibian checklist. And you can come out here and look for frogs and lizards and snakes. So there are plenty of people that come out here that aren't looking for birds, that are looking for reptiles, and they are here. So we have many other animals. There are deer here. Somebody saw a deer on the Sandhill Trail the other day. There's wild hogs out in the swamp, and squirrels everywhere. We have a bald eagle, though, as far as birds go. Right at this moment, we do have a bald eagle overhead, and he's been spotted by several people recently. Also on the back porch at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal, you can pick up a scavenger hunt for your kids, and they can come out here and look for the items on our scavenger hunt. It's a great activity for families. Unfortunately, we have some trash in the canal. And we've been collecting dip nets so that we can always come out here and retrieve the trash out of the canal. We always need volunteers that want to paddle around and pick up some trash out of the canal. That'd be cool. Very soon we're going to do a canal cleanup, and we're going to organize a group to come and help clean the canal. It's part of our mission here at the canal to keep this place pristine. We want it very clean and nature-like, no trash. We have receptacles. We do allow you to bring your dog. We ask that you keep it on a leash and use our receptacles before you leave. But we want to keep it where people can come and really enjoy it and not have to see anything that shouldn't be here. So we're coming up on Lock 6 at the Ogeechee River. And when people talk about the beginning of the canal, they always say the beginning is at River Street and Savannah River. But I say this is the beginning because this is where they started digging. And they dug from the Ogeechee to River Street on the Savannah River. We have these little benches off our boardwalk that you can sit and read a book, or listen to the birds, or just watch wildlife, and they're amazing. At our locks, we have these signs that say, "Keep off fragile brick." These brick have been here since the 1800s. People don't realize that. They want to jump up on them for a photo opportunity, but it's very important not to get up on top of our lock. Right near Lock 6 is a stone with the date 1830. So this is the date 1830, and that is actually the year that the canal was completed, was 1830. Since Hurricane Matthew, we had a little bit of storm damage on our boardwalk, and this is all that remains of the damages. We're hopefully going to get this fixed in the next few weeks. We had another section of boardwalk that was at a 45-degree angle around the corner, but Junior ROTC from Effingham came and fixed it the other week. So all of these boardwalks were built by Boy Scouts. This is the Ogeechee River Terminus at the canal. At this bend in the boardwalk is where the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal literally begins here at the Ogeechee and goes all the way to historic Savannah at the west end of River Street. Here's a piece of history lying in the mud. This is how the dugout canoe was discovered, just lying in the mud. So this section of boardwalk was really displaced, and Junior ROTC from Effingham came and repaired this. These arched bridges were built so that they would go over the old Indian canoe trail. The old Indian canoe trail comes from the Ogeechee and went up into the property at the Savannah-Ogeechee Canal. It has not been properly documented. We just recently found a lot of Indian artifacts inside the building that we had in storage cabinets and didn't realize that they were even there. So we do know that the Native American Indians were here long before the canal was dug. So this is the end of Jinks Road, where Jinks Road used to go across to Fort Stewart property, which is now Fort Stewart property. This was originally called Dillon's Bridge, these old bridge pilings out here, and Sherman burned that bridge. It was afterwards rebuilt and used for many more years. It was called Butler's Bridge after it was called Dillon's Bridge, and Butler owned property on both sides of the bridge. This is wild rice. So rice is one of the main crops that were transported down the canal to Savannah. And there's rice still growing all over the banks of the Ogeechee River everywhere you look. And here's our shelter down at the end of Jinks Road at the Ogeechee River. And it was actually built by Troop 7 of the Boy Scouts. And if you ever become a member here at the canal and you want to come down here and fish, you can sit your cooler up here on the shelter. You can come up here and have your picnic lunch. This shelter is wonderful on a rainy day with our tin roof. If you want to come sit down at the river or use it for fishing, or you could actually camp on it if you wanted to, if you're a member.